Hello knitters, Faylin from Strand Knitting Studio in San Clemente, California. And today I have a sample sale coming up on Saturday, a class, and I'm going to talk. So stay tuned. Saturday from 12 to 4. Come earlier than later. So samples are, the things that we have in the store to entice you to knit these projects with these yarns. So, but after they've been here a while, we don't carry the yarn, or the yarn's discontinued, or we don't carry it, or whatever, those kind of reasons, we sell the samples. So we are selling the samples. So it's a really fun time to come in and get some actually really hand knitted kind of stuff without having to knit it. And so, anyway, so we're going to be here from 12 to 4 on Saturday, our normal times, and we will have a sample sale. Okay, so let's start with the class. The only class coming up right now is bunny season. It's bunny season, and bunny season is big. And I only have a couple spots left in this class. So it's Sunday, April 6th from 10 to 12. I think I have like two spots left. So here's one of the bunnies, and I'll put a picture of the other bunny because I haven't really gotten him made up yet. But this is one of our bunnies. He's so cute. And you can make little tiny ones too. Just make smaller squares. Aren't they adorable? And so these are done, you knit a square. You're going to come to class with a square, either pattern. Come to class with a square, and it's how we sew it up that makes it look like a bunny. And you actually leave class with a finished project. Now that's like an unheard of class. That's the only class I can do that you actually leave with a project. So you want to get some yarn. You can be any yarn. You want your needle to be on the smaller side. So if the band ball says like 6 to 7, make it to 6. And you'll need ribbon. So get some ribbon or bring some ribbon, because the bunny is funky looking until you have a ribbon around its neck. And I mean, this isn't so funky looking, but this guy tends to be funky looking. But as soon as you put a ribbon on it, it's magic. It's like the best thing ever. Best thing ever. Yep, so the ribbon makes the bunny. So that is, it's going to show you squares. So you're going to come up with a square, right? So let's pretend this is still on your needles. How do you know when it's a square? You take a bottom corner and you match it up to this is your needles. And if this edge is equal, then it's a square. If you have more of this edge sticking out, you got a few more rows to do. But you should have an equal lateral, I guess, triangle. So where all the sides match up. Then you can bind off. So that's going to be a bigger bunny, not a giant bunny. It's not going to be as big as this bunny. And this is going to be a smaller bunny. So you have enough. So we use the Harriet or the Alpaca Grande. There's enough to make 3 squares, but we have to do pom-poms. So now you do not have to use this yarn for pom-pom. You can use a white or something that's not, this yarn if you want 3 bunnies. But pom-poms take a lot of yarn. They take a lot of yarn. So I would just knit out the first bunny first, get the pom-pom made, and then we'll see how much is left. And you probably get another bunny. You probably don't get a 3rd bunny with pom-poms. But with just knitting squares, and if you're using something different for the pom-pom, because you could just use another creamy white color. And then if you're tan, you can sort of play with that a little bit, but you can also just do it out of what you've got, but then only do 1 square. Sorry, only do 1 square for the class. And then we'll make the pom-pom, and then we'll see how much you have left. All right. So come with your square ready to go, a ribbon in hand, and a yarn needle, because we'll be doing sewing, so you need yarn needles. And I think that's it. So that class is Sunday, April 6th from 10 to 12. 2 spots left. Okay, the next we got one of our new yarns in for the summer, but it's like the fuzzy stuff. So this is almost all, it's a 56 alpaca, 24% wool, and 20% nylon, which is what binds this thing together. So this sweater, we've knitted a bunch of that sweater and with that alpaca, and then we did it with this, and now we have this, but we also are going to do a pullover out of this. And so we're going to get this sample in right here. which means I didn't have to knit it. I was so excited. So we're gonna get this sample in to knit with the, yeah. And so we have this color. I think the sample's gonna be in this color. So it's nice and spring looking, you know, nice and spring. So if you don't want to knit another cardigan, we can knit pullovers. And it's up on a bigger needle because it's going to be airy. So let's see what needle to go to. Needles, a 9. So they're on a 9 for this. So that's a pretty big needle. So it'll knit up pretty fast. But anyway, so that's coming up, and I said we'll have the sample in like the next week, I'm thinking, and then you can come check it out. So this is Editing Faylin, and while I was looking for pictures for this new yarn, I came across this pattern from Araucania, and I really like it. So I think I'm going to probably be knitting this up, and this will become a class at some point, or for part of the sweater class or something like that. But anyways, this is another option for that yarn, and I think it's a really good option for the summer. So come in and check it out. Okay, question. Are you a project knitter or are you a process knitter? There's two kinds of knitters, and it's nice to know which one you are because you sort of understand what's happening and how you like things to go, and you're not comparing yourself to other people who may be the other kind of knitter. So we have project knitters. So project knitter is I need a project and I'm going to knit the project and give it to somebody. Like it's for something. I'm not just going to knit it and not have any idea where it goes. I'm going to knit it because I need a project for this person. So that's a project knitter. Everything's project oriented, and there's usually a place, sometimes there won't be, but usually there's a place for it to be going. Like if you knit something, you don't have anywhere to give it, unless it's a hat. People hold on to hats and then they can give hats out as they go. But any other things, you know, then that's a project knitter. Then there's the process knitter, which I am, where we want to knit something because it looks interesting and fun. And if it belongs to anybody, I really don't care. I can always give it to somebody or not or whatever. But I knit things because it's a process. Now, it's not that I don't knit project stuff because you sort of do both. Of course, if I've got gifts to knit, that's a project and I'm going to knit it. But as far as like things that interest me, it's always like I'm just really like to do things that like look interesting to me. For me, if they're harder, that's more interesting to me. And I love process knitting. And that makes me the most happy is when I'm knitting something I want to knit because of the construction or the pattern or the lace or whatever, that's when I'm my happiest. And when I'm like having to figure things out, I'm happy. And so process knitters tend to be like that. Like they were knitting because this looks interesting. And then the project knitters are knitting because I need this and to give to this person. There's nothing wrong with either one. They're both they are what they are. But it's just sort of nice to know what your frame of things is, you know, how you're thinking about it, because it can sort of free you up or, you know, let you decide things a little different, knowing that, yeah, this is what I am. And it just is. Not that you can't cross-pollinate, because we do, but for the most part you're this, or the most part you're this. And so I just thought I'd like, that is actually the first thing I ever talked about on my very first knitter video, which I think was 5 minutes long. I talked about process and project knitters. So I just thought it'd be fun to talk about process and project knitters again, just because, I haven't talked about that in like 2 years. So that is the difference. And you will find yourself falling mostly into one camp. Of course, you can, you know, as I said, if you need a gift and you got to knit something for somebody, you're going to knit something for somebody. But yeah, okay, that's it for this time. So don't forget the sample sale on Saturday from 12 to 4. Come and check it out. And I will see you in the studio real soon. Bye.